Hi, hello. Today we're going to be talking about the 7-star Skeledirge raids that are happening this week, part of the Pokemon Day celebration. We couldn't really do this properly last week because Meowscarada came out very shortly after the Pokemon Day announcement. So the Meowscarada builds were tried, true, and tested, obviously. These are based off of what Skeledirge could have. And of course, I build Pokemon in a team setting. So today I have 6 Pokemon that should do great against Skeledirge, no matter what moveset it ends up having. And before we get to those 6 Pokemon, let's just talk about what Skeledirge can do, because I do think it might be more of a problem than Meowscarada was. Alright, so we know right off the bat that Skeledirge is a special attacker with 110 special attack. We also know that its signature move, Torch Song, will boost its special attack more, so pretty much all these builds are based around it knowing and having Torch Song and what that can do. Special attack going up and up every turn. The nice thing about Skeledirge is a lot of you have probably used Skeledirge in the past against raid bosses, so you know what Torch Song does, but you also probably know what its hidden ability does, which is Unaware. Unaware is going to ignore the stat changes of the Pokemon you are facing. So if you are against Skeledirge and you use Swords Dance or Belly Drum, Skeledirge doesn't care. It doesn't see those stat changes. But what Unaware does not do is if you use something like Acid Spray on Skeledirge, you will still see the benefit of that because Skeledirge is only looking at your Pokemon. It's not looking at its own stats. So we have 2 options. Either we can remove the ability. Once we remove the ability, we can Belly Drum, we can Swords Dance, we can Calm Mind, we can do whatever. Or we can keep the ability if it knows something like Snarl, and Snarl would lower our special attack, which would be annoying. But because it would lower our special attack, it doesn't see that because of the ability. I think overall we want to remove the ability. And it's very easy to do with a couple Pokemon. You're going to see some of my raid builds have Swords Dance or Calm Mind, and you're going to probably not watch this part of the video and then comment, Swords Dance doesn't work, it has Unaware. It's because you skipped this part. It's because you were jumping around. We have Pokemon to remove the ability. My Pokemon are built in a team. That's the point. Even if we can't remove the ability, our Pokemon should do fine. I just want to go over the moves that I calculated here. We calculated Torch Song, Shadow Ball. I think these 2 are a given. Skeledirge is still a ghost type at the end of the day, so it would still get its ghost type stab, same type attack bonus, so Shadow Ball will still do a lot of damage. Overheat, we're just calculating this to make sure that we can survive the strongest fire type move that Skeledirge has. It's much stronger than Torch Song. Hyper Voice, Snarl, we already talked about that. Alluring Voice, that would be, a fairy type move against dark type Pokemon. Earth Power, and it gets Solar Beam. I don't actually expect Solar Beam, but it does get it as a grass type move. You'll see a lot of water Pokemon that we have, and Solar Beam would be, I wouldn't even say it would be threatening because Rain Dance, I'm losing my mind. Rain Dance would nerf the power of Solar Beam. And then we have our status type moves, Sing, Yawn, and Will-O-Wisp. I think it's very likely to see these 2 moves because of Skeledirge's whole gimmick of being a singer. So these would be annoying, and we have ways to counter that. These are the 8 moves I calculated. I didn't calculate any of the physical moves because its physical attack isn't that great, and if we can survive these, we can survive the physical. But it doesn't have like a diverse move pool. These are like the strongest in the categories that we have here. So now that we've laid that out, let's talk about the 6 Pokemon I built. Our first Pokemon is going to be Kyogre. You just can't ignore Kyogre's special defense stat and special attack stat. It's so high. Its ability is Drizzle. It's going to set Rain right away, which will make all of those Torch Songs weaker. You'll notice that we do have Pokemon that resist fire. So if you have a Pokemon neutral to fire, it's more likely that Skeledirge is going to use Torch Song, and every time it uses Torch Song, its special attack will go up. If we bring Pokemon where it doesn't want to use Torch Song, we don't have to worry about that. And I think by default setting Rain or having Rain up for the majority of this fight, we will see less Torch Songs, and that's just less of a problem. I'm not talking about you, listener, who's made it this far in the video and has hopefully hit the like button and the subscribe button. I'm talking about your teammates. And even if you don't play online, I'm talking about your CPU teammates. Whereas, if Arboliva is coming to a raid, that Skeledirge is going to be spamming Torch Song on Arboliva. If your random teammate is bringing Iron Hands, Torch Song is neutral. It's probably going to be the best move that Skeledirge is going to use, and it's going to use Torch Song against Iron Hands, which is bad for you. So this is one of those raids where your opponents, not your opponents, maybe they are your opponents, your teammates' choices can make the raid harder. So I kept that in mind with the Pokemon we built today. So again, you get the Rain Dance right away. You have an option to reapply Rain Dance after 5 turns. And then we're doing Calm Mind, which will matter if you remove the ability. It doesn't matter if no one does remove the ability. And then Water Spout and Surf. You might be asking why both Water Spout and Surf. Well, Surf is 90 damage. Water Spout is 150 damage. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe that's correct. And you're going to press Water. Did I say Spurt? You're gonna hit Water Spout when you have full health. You will outspeed Skeledirge, so you can start the match by using Water Spout. But if you don't have full health, you're gonna switch to Surf, and you might want to save some Water Spouts for when you Terastallize. But because you'll have the Shell Bell as your item, and because you'll be doing so much damage because of Kyogre's crazy special attack, and because you'll be in the rain, you should be able to Surf or Surf, get your health back if you're at full health, or if somebody heals cheers, you're going to then be able to Water Spout, vice versa. So if you're at, really easy, set Rain when there is no rain, Water Spout if you're full health, Surf if you're not at full health, Terastallize Water, really easy. EVs here, just 252 HP, 252 special attack, 4 special defense. Calm Mind isn't going to work in a solo situation, obviously, because you'll have no one to remove the ability. But I would only Calm Mind after your stat reset. So if the ability is removed and the stats have been reset, maybe Calm Mind once or twice, but Kyogre might be one of the easiest to pilot here, if you have one. If you don't have one, let's switch to Kommo-o. Kommo-o is our only physical Pokemon here. Yes, Kommo-o is our only physical Pokemon here. Skeledirge has a defense stat of 100. It has a special defense of 75, so ideally you want to hit on the special side. But we're gonna do a Water Terra Kommo-o. And the cool thing about Kommo-o is it has the ability Soundproof. What that means is it can't even use Torch Song against you, because Torch Song is considered a sound-based move. It does say that, sound-based move, even though it's a fire-type move. It's also a sound-based move. There's a bunch of sound-based moves, and it prevents Torch Song. It prevents Sing. It prevents Alluring Voice, which you would be 4 times weak to. It prevents Hyper Voice. It prevents pretty much every move that we went through, except, I think, Shadow Ball and Earth Power. And you're not weak to those. They're neutral damage, but the other thing that makes Kommo-o really cool is Throat Chop. So Throat Chop will stop those moves for 2 turns for your teammates. Remember when I was saying earlier that if you're playing solo and an Arboliva is on your team, number 1, you should probably reset to not have Arboliva on your team. But number 2, that is going to trigger Skeledirge to want to Torch Song that Arboliva over and over, which makes it harder for you because it's getting the special attack buffs. So if you Throat Chop, it's going to prevent it from using sound-based moves for your entire team. So what you can do is you can Throat Chop, Terra Blast, Throat Chop, Rain Dance, Throat Chop, Terra Blast. Obviously, you don't Terra Blast until you Terastallize. So ideally, I guess you Throat Chop, Throat Chop, Throat Chop, then Terastallize, Terra Blast, Throat Chop. When your stats reset, Swords Dance. In a solo situation, that doesn't work. In a solo situation or in a group situation, the Unaware does not negate the damage of Rain Dance. So with Rain being up, your Terra Blast, or going back to your Kyogre, your Surfs will be stronger in the rain. So again, if for some reason you cannot remove the ability, you can still set Rain, and your Water-type moves will still do more damage. So you should do that. I saw last week people in the comments that love to tell me what they build. But they'll have all these Fire-type Pokemon, but they won't have like Sunny Day, even though Sunny Day will boost your Fire-type moves. by 50% for 5 turns. That's a lot of damage you're getting by just spending 1 turn setting the sun. Also, your teammates, if they're water, or in the sunny day case, if they're fire, they will also get that boost. Whereas if you swords dance, sure, you get the boost, but your teammates don't. Weather has always been really good. That's why Kyogre is here. That's why, when we're fighting fire Pokemon, we're putting Rain Dance. When we're fighting water Pokemon, we're putting like Sunny Day. Weather's always really good. Throat Chop pretty much covers everything Soundproof does, so you could change the ability of Soundproof to, I think it's Bulletproof, which the Bulletproof would block Shadow Ball. So I think ultimately, what's this Pokemon called? Ultimately, Kommo-o could block pretty much all of its moves with the combination of Throat Chop and Bulletproof. But I think Soundproof is just safer for people who might forget to Throat Chop, or who might be skipping through this video and not actually listening to my explanation, or who just see my Instagram posts and again, don't listen to how I explain how these work. So if you're doing really well or you understand, you could probably change that ability. But I think because we don't know its final moveset, Soundproof for now, Throat Chop to save your team, Water Terra Blast to do a bunch of damage. But yeah, that's how you play Kommo-o. Umbreon. Umbreon is a full support here. It is our first way to remove the ability. We can skill swap it. So we will take away Unaware and we will give it Inner Focus, which means we cannot flinch Skeledirge, but you can't flinch a raid boss anyways. We have the Light Screen because we know Skeledirge is a special attacker. Light Screen will protect the entire team. We're going to do the Light Clay to make that last 8 turns. You're going to Snarl it. Even if you don't remove the Unaware, Snarl will still have an effect that will get those Torch Songs down. And then you have Throat Chop. Throat Chop to block those sound-based moves. So you are just full support here. 4 Umbreons are not winning this raid. You just need 1 Umbreon in your team. It's going to open up with Skill Swap. Debatable whether you want a Light Screen or Throat Chop first. Maybe Throat Chop just to stop those Torch Songs. Then Light Screen. And then Snarl, Throat Chop, Heal Cheer when needed. So if you like playing support, Umbreon's really great. The thing you need to keep in mind with Umbreon, though, is as long as Skeledirge does not have a positive speed nature, you will need an investment of 12 speed EVs to outspeed it. You will be 1 point faster, which means you will always go before Skeledirge goes. So 12 in speed, 252 HP, 244 in defense. You will not need to Terra Umbreon at all. You're just full support. Remove the ability, stop the Torch Songs with Throat Chop, lower the special attack with both Snarl and Light Screen, and I don't know what magic Skeledirge would have to do for your team to survive. This is probably going to be one of the better builds to use with randoms online if you like to torture yourself with random play. Stand next to a bunch of Iron Hands, which I'm sure will come to this raid. Alcremie. With the Terrain Extender will make Misty Terrain last 8 turns instead of 5. The reason you want to do this is because of possible Yawn or possible Sing or possible Will-O-Wisp. Although Will-O-Wisp is not really that big of a deal except for Kommo-o. It doesn't matter if these other Pokemon get burned, they're special attackers. But being put to sleep is really annoying. Now, if it has no sleep, and you're listening to this video, I know you guys are doing great, you're making it through. If it doesn't have any sleep, just switch Terrain Extender to Light Clay, just like Umbreon. You make the Light Screen last for 4 turns. Decorate is to boost your opponent, your teammates. So if you're standing next to Kyogre or Kommo-o, you're going to boost its special or physical attack with Decorate, very strong. And then Entrainment, maybe you've never heard of Entrainment, but Entrainment is going to make the target's ability the same as yours. So you are going to give it the Sweet Veil ability that's going to remove Unaware, so your Decorates actually decorate. You're going to remove Unaware, you're going to give it Entrainment. That means Skeledirge can't fall asleep, doesn't matter, we're not going to put it to sleep anyways, but we don't want to be put to sleep, that's why the Misty Terrain is here. So ideally, you Entrainment first, because you cannot Entrainment if somebody dies and the Raid Shield goes up right away. So you remove the ability. Misty Terrain if we see early sleep. If we don't see early sleep, go ahead, Light Screen, Misty Terrain. You're going to Entrainment, Light Screen, Misty Terrain, before you decorate. Decorating really only matters once the stat reset happens. So, if he stat resets on turn 3, that's perfect because you got 3 turns to do the other 3 moves. If stat resets on turn 4, your decorates are just going to get removed right away. So I don't know. At that point, just use a heal cheer, I guess. Alcremie, anytime I build support Pokemon like these two, you're also in charge of heal cheering. Alcremie will decorate whatever the main attacker is. So if you're playing with Kyogres or if you're playing with Como-Os, those are your main attackers. So decorate those, of course. But remove the ability first. Again, we have a speed creep here. So we need 20 in our speed investment to outspeed a non-nature boosted speed Skeledirge, if that makes sense. And so the speed is not up. I think Skeledirge's speed is 66. So we're just outspeeding base speed of 66 without a nature that boosts the speed. So some of those calcs get adjusted if that's the case. I don't see in a million years why they would give it a speed nature because it's already so slow. But we want to speed creep it for sure with Alcremie. So 20 in speed, 252 special defense, 236 HP, calm nature. You could do the terrain extender. You could do the light clay. But if we are expecting sleep, terrain extender might get you some more mileage. Our next Pokemon is, they're not going to be doing a lot of damage, but they can do damage. They can do more damage than the last 2 supports. That's why I consider it an all-arounder. It's going to be Milotic with the light clay, because it is still support. This is our one support-ish Pokemon that cannot remove the ability, but it can set the light screen. It can heal with Life Dew. And it can lower the special attack with Skitter Smack. So Skitter Smack will lower that special attack if Torch Song gets out of control. And of course, we can protect our team with Light Screen. So when you're not doing all of that stuff, once the light screen is up, if everyone is healthy with Life Dew, this pairs really well with the Kyogre, by the way. If you Life Dew the Kyogre and the Kyogre now has full health again, it can Water Spout, which does even more damage. So this is a great partner for a Kyogre. When you're not controlling the special attack with Skitter Smack and Light Screen, you can go ahead and hit the Surf button. 252 HP, 40 special attack, 216 special defense. So again, you're not going to hit really hard. You're just going to do some chip damage in between. Your main job is just to keep the team healthy and to control the special attack with Skitter Smack. Again, Light Clay as the item. You don't need something like the Shell Bell because you'll get health back with Life Dew. You'll give the whole team health with Life Dew. Just really bulky here. I think with one of the 3 Pokemon I've just talked about, Umbreon, Alcremie, Milotic, I don't know how you would lose. These are some of the best supports I think you can have, no matter what moveset that Skeledirge ends up with. And then our final Pokemon is going to be Goodra. We're doing the wide lens because I'm being a little fun here, but if you're playing solo, which I don't do solo builds, but I'm gonna mention it a couple times. If you're playing solo, you might want to switch this to Shell Bell. But if you're playing with a team, you got the same thing that Milotic has. You have the Skitter Smack and you have the Life Dew. But if you're playing with a team, you also have the Acid Spray. So the Acid Spray is going to make the Kyogre do more damage. It's going to make Milotic do more damage. It's going to make you, the Goodra, do more damage. And then you have Muddy Water here. Now, Muddy Water is only 85% accuracy, and it lowers the accuracy of Skeledirge, which, again, Unaware doesn't block that because you're lowering Skeledirge's accuracy. And Acid Spray, doesn't matter if it has Unaware or not, you're still lowering its special defense, which means your Pokemon will do more damage. So this is why I said, maybe solo is because you don't have to worry about the ability being removed, but Skitter Smack, Acid Spray, Muddy Water will all still affect Skeledirge. And you still outspeed even with a negative speed nature. I think Goodra does a lot better when Rain is set up. Obviously, the Acid Spray is really good here, but Muddy Water does more damage in the Rain. You will Terrasilize to Water-type Terra, so you will do more damage with Muddy Water. If you want to run Shell Bell instead of Wide Lens, because Wide Lens increases both Skitter Smack and Muddy Water. It makes Skitter Smack a 99% accuracy instead of 90, and it makes Muddy Water a 93% accuracy instead of 85. If you want to just run a different water move instead of Muddy Water, you could just run Water Terra Blast, because you'll get there really fast with 3 acid sprays. I don't actually know if Goodra gets Surf. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if it gets Surf, that's slightly stronger than Terra Blast, so just do that instead. But I like Muddy Water here, as this isn't like a fully offensive Goodra, but it has a lot of tools to adapt to a team. If you do have other attackers, you can lean more back. You can lean into the Skitter Smack, the Life Dew, the Acid Spray. If you need to be the attacker, you can lean into the Acid Spray, Muddy Water. So Goodra's really, really flexible. I think both Goodra and Milotic are really flexible for a lot of teams. So that's why we put them in the all-around category versus these two being pure support and then these two being pure attack. So I hope that helps you out. If you need help with Skeledirge, I will be running those raids on Thursday night. If you have any questions or whatever, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, I think, regardless of Skeledirge's moveset, I think these all work great. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I love doing these raid builds. I love that you guys comment and share these raid builds. I really want to help as many people as possible. That's why I do these builds. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Bye.